Alrighty then, it's time to review New Japan Pro Wrestling / Global Force Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 9 live January 4th, 2015 at the Tokyo Dome. Boy, what a show this was, and I can't wait to talk about it. But before I break down the match cards, I have some questions for you viewers at home. The first question I have for you guys is, what did you think about the presentation in the Japanese style art of wrestling? Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably people who checked out this pay-per-view for the first time for certain reasons, and I'll get to that in my second question. But I want to know, if this was your first time ever experiencing New Japan Pro Wrestling, what did you think about the art style of Japanese wrestling? What did you think about the entrances in the Japanese wrestling? I always like to hear differing opinions. You know, Japanese wrestling, sometimes it's a little bit harder, especially for newer generation fans, to kind of get into because they're so used to watching, you know, the WWE style wrestling or the TNA style wrestling or somewhat of the ROH style wrestling. So I just want to know from people in the comment section, what did they think overall about the presentation of the show and the Japanese style wrestling that they watched? Now, my second question for you guys is, did Jim Ross and Matt Striker help you out at all watching this pay-per-view? Did you guys feel comfortable watching this event knowing that you were getting two Americans call the Japanese style of matches and knowing that, you know, this is your first time checking out Japanese style wrestling? Did you feel like Jim Ross and Matt Striker did a good enough job to you to help you understand and get into the show? Because I know a lot of people were watching New Japan for the first time, and one of the main reasons they were watching New Japan for the first time was because of Jumpin' JR Jim Ross and the former math school teacher Matt Striker. It was because those two were going to be on commentary breaking down some of these matches in English, and a lot of people were saying, hey, you know what, I'll check this out because I'll be able to understand what's going on in the arena. I'll be able to follow the action a little bit easier. So I just want to know, did JR and Matt Striker help you out at all watching this event? So the third and final question that I have for you guys is mostly for the new people checking out New Japan Pro Wrestling for the first time, is which wrestler impressed you the most? Which wrestler that you watched on this event were you saying to yourself, damn, I will watch more New Japan Pro Wrestling because of this wrestler right here. This guy, I love him, his character, his shtick, his gimmick, whatever it is. I just love this guy, and he will be the main reason why I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. Leave all your answers to all three of my questions in the comment section down below. Now let's get started with this review. Now, I felt the first match to this pay-per-view was really, really damn good. It was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. It was a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with Red Dragon, Forever Hooligans, the Time Splitters, the Young Bucks, the Super Kick Party, and it was a good, high-octane, fun professional wrestling match. I was saying to myself, man, this is how you kick off a pay-per-view. This is what you do to kick off a pay-per-view. You give us a fun, high-octane match that makes us say, holy crud, that was really, really good. I hope the other matches can follow. It gets you energetic for the show and gets you pumped up, and it makes you say, I want to see more. That's what I felt that this opening match did very, very well for New Japan Pro Wrestling. My one complaint about this show, and it's actually just a little minor complaint, is that I felt the structuring of this show was awful. And that's just the truth. Because after you have a high-octane match like this, I figured you would want to give something better to follow afterwards. But to me, the next two matches that they followed afterwards were just clusterfuck tag team matches that weren't good. And that's just the truth. You had like the bunch of jobbers from New Japan taking on the Bullet Club featuring Jeff Jarrett. Who the fuck cares about that? And this was pretty much worked as a regular American six-man tag match featuring Jeff fucking Jarrett. So you know what you're going to get. You're going to get where either Jeff Jarrett hits his guitar over the babyface and the heel wins, or Jeff Jarrett misses his guitar to the babyface, hits the heel, and then the babyface wins. Just a simple, boring six-man tag match in all honesty. And then the next one, we had like an 8-man tag match. We had the Pro Wrestling Noah guys come over, and they're facing Suzuki Gun. And it was just like a bunch of guys getting a lot of random spots that didn't really matter. They had it where there was a ref distraction that didn't provide any influence whatsoever to the match. And I just felt that this match was just bad. I'm just going to be honest here. It was cool to see my boy Shelton Benjamin again. And I find it hilarious that D.H. Smith, he's like, one of the main reasons why he left the WWE was because they give him a limited move set. And he went to New Japan Pro Wrestling to show off all his skills. And I'm saying to myself, D.H. Smith, you still wrestle like you're in the WWE, you idiot. So why in the blue hell are you saying New Japan's giving you more of an opportunity? If anything, you didn't show me whatsoever how much you improved, because you're still wrestling like I've seen you in the past in FCW and like I've seen you in the past in WWE. To me, I just felt New Japan Pro Wrestling did a bad job to follow up what was a really, really good opener. I just felt, holy crap, you could have used these tag team matches later on in the night between your other big matches to calm down the fans, especially the American fans. Because I get it, Japanese fans, a little bit different than the American fans. They don't really cheer and holler all that much. But for me personally, as more of an American professional wrestling fan than I am a Japanese professional wrestling fan, I felt if you're going to show this to an American audience who has never seen this before, wouldn't you think maybe we should structure these other two tag team matches a little bit later on in the night to calm the American fans down instead of continuing on with these boring tag team matches? I mean, seriously, I don't know why you would start off your pay-per-view with 3 straight tag team matches, but that was one of my complaints of this pay-per-view. Very good opener with 2 very bad matches to follow it. Now, for a lot of you American fans out there that don't really follow Japanese-style professional wrestling, Japanese wrestlers like to hit hard. They like to freaking have that strong style, if you will. They're very, very stiff in the ring. And these next 2 matches, after following all those tag team matches, were hard-hitting matches that I personally liked. In fact, one of these matches were my favorite matches of the night. I was like saying, holy crap, that was an awesome match, and I enjoyed watching it. It's not the best match of the night, but it was an awesome match to me nonetheless. So what we had here was Suzuki versus Sakuraba in an MMA-style match. Pretty much only knockout or submission can win this match, and I felt this match was a really good match. I like how Suzuki was selling the arm after the Nakamura. I just felt the ending, it could have been a little bit better. That's just me. I felt that ending was just kind of lackluster. It was just like a lame rear naked choke, and he also used a rear naked choke with the arm he was selling the whole match. It was like saying to myself, couldn't you have done it in a cool way? Because he was coming back with all those palm strikes. Wouldn't it have been cool if Suzuki fucking just palm strike Sakuraba and just knocked him out? I just thought that would have been a cooler way to end the match with a knockout via palm strike. Because palm strikes are vicious, especially if you do karate. You know those are vicious moves to hit. So really, to be honest, I just felt the ending could have been a little bit better. But it was still a good match nonetheless, or a good mixed style match per se. But Mikatabi versus Ishii for the Never Openweight Championship. This was my favorite match of the night. Because you guys know me. Chase Oliver is not really the guy that loves the kicks and the flips and those type of wrestlers. Chase is the guy that likes big wrestlers beating the shit out of each other. That's just my style of wrestling. And watching Ishii and Makatabi, oh my god, it brought me back to like watching some old school 80s wrestling. Like, shit, dude. These guys were killing each other. And I loved absolutely every minute of it. Yeah, you know, some people don't really like the strong style of wrestling. It, you know, different folks, different strokes, you know that saying. But for me personally, this was one of my favorite matches of the night, if not the favorite. It wasn't the best match of the night. I want to go as far as saying it was the best match of the night. There was another match that was a lot better than this one. But for me personally, this is the one match where I was like, holy shit, this was awesome. And this is my favorite match. Makatabi beats Ishii for the, you know, the Never Openweight title. I felt JR and Matt Striker did a very good job calling this match, especially JR. I felt JR, this was the best match he called throughout the night because it was like an old school wrestling style match, and so he was having a good time calling this match. So when it comes down to it, I was fine with Makatabi getting the win over Ishii. I mean, Ishii, he did good in the G1 Climax. I feel like you can move him up the card a little bit, so yeah, overall, though, a really fun match, and definitely one that I suggest to you guys. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, not going to lie, was very disappointing. This one felt like it could have deserved a little bit more time. I liked how Kenny Omega played heel in this match. I love the slow slap in the beginning. I thought he was having some fun with that. He did a good job as a heel, but in all honesty, I hated how in the beginning of the match, Kenny Omega freaking grabbed the cold spray and sprayed it into Gucci's eyes. And I was saying to myself, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you're going to spray someone in someone's eyes, the whole basis of the match now should be that person can't see, and we'll see if he can overcome that odds or obstacles. But they didn't play that story whatsoever. And furthermore, if you are going to spray someone in someone's eyes, that's probably an end match strategy instead of a beginning match strategy, especially if you're not going to play up that story throughout the whole match. I felt that was a missed opportunity by New Japan Pro Wrestling, is that they had a simple basic concept where, you know, freaking Kenny Omega sprayed Taguchi in the eyes, you could have had it the whole match where American fans could connect to it and say, oh my God, how is this guy going to wrestle without his eyes? What is he going to do? But instead, they kind of no-sold it, and they went on to do their little, you know, cruiserweight, X Division, whatever you want to say, style of match. And I just felt that was a little bit disappointing, in my personal opinion. Taguchi, I liked his character. I thought it was funny that he was using his ass as a weapon. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, this match felt a little bit disappointing. I felt with a little bit more time, it could have gotten a little bit better. But yeah, that's just me at the end of the day. Miyu Tag versus the Bullet Club for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, I felt was kind of, you know, a missed opportunity to make Miyu Tag into huge stars. What I mean is, like, they could have made this match a lot more longer and a lot more dramatic. I liked the match for what it was. I thought it was a fine matchup, but I felt like, geez, couldn't you give these guys a little bit more time? There was other matches in the card that you could obviously completely cut to give this match a little bit more time. I mean, here's the Bullet Club, who have held these titles for over a year now. You would think, like, you know, this should be a huge moment that we should remember that Miyu Tag, these two guys who have been teaming up with each other ever since high school. They were like former high school teammates and wrestling in Japan. You would think, like, oh my God, this would be a great moment and a great match for them to win. But it just felt like this match was a little bit short. And, you know, when they won the belts, it had that feel-good feeling, but not that overall feel-good feeling. Not that overall huge, like, man, I can't believe they did it. I just felt it was a little bit of a missed opportunity. And I felt if this match would have gone on a little bit longer, we could have gotten a better match. But overall, good, solid heavyweight tag team title match. AJ Styles versus Naito was a good matchup between these two. You know, this is a rematch from their G1 Climax match, which was a lot better of a matchup because they were given a little bit more time. But this was fine for what it was. I felt the ending sequence was very, very good for this match. You know, the beginning portion of the match, it starts off as any AJ Styles trying to be a heel match. I'm sorry. Like, no matter how many times people try to convince me, AJ Styles can't play heel. This dude is like the ultimate babyface. And I like that he's trying in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he does a pretty decent job with it. But really, to be honest, like, it's always babyface AJ. Babyface AJ is where it's at. And when it comes down to it, I felt the beginning of the match was just all right. Middle of the match picked up, and then the ending part of the match was really, really damn good. So it's definitely worth the check out. I thought it was a good matchup, and especially if you haven't seen AJ Styles wrestle in a while and you want to see what he's doing now in New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is a good introductory match for a lot of you out there. Nakamura versus Ibushi for the IWGP Intercontinental title kicked some major ass. This match is fucking awesome. And if you guys want to watch any match from this show and you're on the fence of watching the match on this show, this is the match to watch. I was loving this match. I love the Ibushi story that he was trying to tell here. You know, that they had a match a couple years ago and that, you know, Ibushi came close to beating Nakamura there. And, you know, people started to love Ibushi a little bit more. Ibushi has risen up the ranks from being a junior heavyweight now to being a heavyweight in the IWGP. And he's taking on the King of Strong Style Nakamura. And Ibushi was hitting Nakamura blow for blow, if not even bigger blows on Nakamura. And Nakamura barely escaped with the win over Ibushi here. I felt this was a great match to elevate the star level of Ibushi, man. This Ibushi kid. And there's one guy who impressed me a lot on this New Japan Pro Wrestling show. It was this guy. I want to see more of Ibushi. Just being honest here, I want to see more of Kota Ibushi and see what this guy can do. Because, boy, this guy was fun to watch. You know, I like Nakamura. I've seen a lot of Nakamura stuff in the past. But Kota Ibushi, I rarely have seen. I've seen a couple of his matches, not too much. But this match right here, especially with JR calling it. And even though JR botched a lot in this match, I felt he did a great job near the ending call of this match. He sold me on Ibushi. Him and Matt Striker sold me on why I should be checking out more of this Ibushi kid. So Nakamura and Ibushi, very, very great match that you have to check out, if anything, from this show. Now it's time to talk about the main event of the evening, the singles match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. I know I said IWGP Heavyweight title twice, and I now said it 3 times, but who gives a shit? Let's just talk about this matchup right here. Now, for all you guys who don't know, Hiroshi Tanahashi is the John Cena of the New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is the top guy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and for 37 years old, this guy still kicks ass in the ring. Okada, he's the heir apparent. He's the dude that's going to take New Japan to the next level in the future. And Okada, if you guys were impressed by this kid, go look at his age. You're going to see that he's 27 years old, and you're saying to yourself, holy crap, this kid is good, and he's going to keep getting better and better. This match was really damn good. I really liked this as a main event. I felt one of the coolest spots I've seen in a while was freaking Tanahashi doing the frog splash onto the outside. Like he was on the top rope of the ring. Freaking does a frog splash over, and he clears the fuck over the barricade and lands pinpoint perfectly on Okada. That was a spot. It's been a while since I've seen a cool spot like that without ladders or a steel cage to assist it. It's been a while since I've seen a cool spot like that where I'm like, oh shit. That one right there got me interested in the match, and I really felt that these two had such a good chemistry and did a very good job telling the story of Okada. Can't believe that he's hitting Tanahashi with all his best shots. He's the new guard, damn it. He wants the belt, but, you know, Tanahashi keeps kicking out, and Okada keeps kicking out Tanahashi's moves, and it takes Tanahashi a bunch of leg wrenches, and then finally a high five to win the match. And that was a really good main event. I liked Tanahashi after the match where he was celebrating, doing the air guitar. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but the fans were having fun, and I was having fun watching him. And I feel Tanahashi, to me, from what I've seen from him in New Japan, he's still rightful as the face of that company and as the face of Japanese wrestling. I understand a lot of people are huge fans of Okada. I'm one of them. I'm a huge Okada guy. I think this guy is really, really good. But when it comes down to it, Okada is still young. And unlike in American wrestling where you want younger faces trying to carry that company because, you know, the American culture is all about, you know, rookies in the NBA and the NFL leading the future of the sport, you know, in Japan, you want people who are respected and have that type of, you know, understanding of the business and have paid their dues for long periods of time. And Okada, to me, yes, very good at the age of 27, but being the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling, not yet. Especially of how big Japan is over there, how big wrestling is over there in Japan. I didn't think it was time to pass the torch. I feel Tanahashi can still go for another 5 to 6 years as maybe the top guy, or at least as a wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I say once Okada turns 30 or 31 years old, then you look at him and say, hey man, torch is yours. Go carry this company for the next 10 years. That is, if he doesn't say, fuck off, I'm going to go make some WWE money. Then again, they have to wait and see how Kenta turns out into the WWE, because I truly believe a lot of the New Japan guys, they may be looking at that WWE for more mainstream exposure for themselves, but they want to see how Kenta turns out at the end of the day. But nonetheless, really good main event. Not the best match of the night, but definitely probably like the second best match of the night. I liked it for what it was. So there you have it. That was my review for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 9. What did you guys think about this pay-per-view? Comment down below your thoughts on this pay-per-view, and make sure you answer those 3 questions that I did in the beginning of the video. Really want to know your guys' thoughts. If you guys like me, hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseLiver68. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.